I'm Dr. Aaron Harris, and this video is about the 7 stages of financial freedom. In this video, you'll learn what level of financial freedom you're in right now, and if you watch till the end, then you'll learn what level of financial freedom you want to be in the future. Let's get started. The word financial freedom is vague, meaning that it means many things to many different people. Some people think financial freedom is the ability to pay their bills. Some people think that financial freedom is the ability to live free and travel the world. Some believe that financial freedom means you can buy whatever it is that you want. But in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at a biblical perspective of financial freedom to see the various degrees and levels that people can get to financially. Before we dive into level 1 of financial freedom, let's take a look at what financial bondage is. Financial bondage is opposite of financial freedom. It's usually the inability to be able to meet your basic needs. That means you don't make enough to meet the housing needs that you have or your family have, the clothing needs, and the food needs. And so the first thing you have to assess is, are you in financial bondage? Another form of financial bondage is getting a lot of bad debt. When you have bad debt, that means that you have a lot more money that you owe than that you're worth. And there are some creditors from credit card debt that'll charge you upward of 20% interest, which means they're just bleeding you dry. And so you can also see where people pay way too much interest for cars and payday loans and other forms of debt. Sometimes people can get into so much debt it feels like they're drowning and they don't know how to swim their way to the top so that they can catch a fresh breath of air. So if you currently feel like you're in financial bondage, then don't stress, don't worry, because these biblical principles will help you to be able to see that there is light at the end of the tunnel. The first level of financial freedom from a biblical perspective is stewardship. Stewardship is the ability to manage resources. And so when you're looking at stewardship from a biblical perspective, it's the ability to recognize the need for you to be able to manage your resources effectively. And so the first thing that people need to do when they have a problem is realize that they have a problem and then start seeking out the necessary resources to help them with that problem. That's why level 1 of financial freedom is actually becoming aware that you need to learn how to steward your resources, your finances, in a good way. And the best mentality to have is understanding that God is the creator of the universe and everything that we have comes from him. And so then any money or income or anything that we receive, we understand that it's a result of what the divine has already done. And so then in that way, we understand that we need to manage our resources accordingly in a way that is not just all about us, but acknowledges that there is a divine being, that there is a God in heaven that is bigger and greater than we are. Level 2 of financial freedom is provision. Provision is making sure that your basic needs are met. When I think about provision, I think about in the Sermon on the Mount how Jesus talked about how God takes care of the birds who are in the air, who do not store up food for tomorrow, but he takes care of them each and every day, and how God clothes the lilies of the valley. And so Jesus' point is, if God can take care of the birds and he can clothe the lilies in the valley, then he knows what you need and he will take care of you. So when I think about provision, I think about God making God meeting your very needs. And so this is people who are living paycheck to paycheck, people who are living day to day, people who just have enough money to get by. So if you actually have enough money to get by in life, then you are actually living in God's provision, where God is taking care of you each and every day, and you're realizing that God is doing that. And so for me, really, everyone is under the provision of God. But I remember when I was struggling financially, when I had car trouble, or when I had a financial emergency and I didn't have any money in my pocket, all I could do was go and pray to God and call on Him and hope that He would come through and help me through my situation, which He always did. But I look at that as a huge reliance and dependence on God for the things that you need daily. Level 3 of financial freedom is contentment. Contentment does not mean complacency. Complacency means you're going to stay where you are and you're never going to move ahead or move forward. Contentment realizes that you are in a good position. It could be better, it could be worse, but you are grateful for where you are. When I think about contentment, I think about people who get into a stage of life when they're able to save money. Maybe you have an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. That means that you're not living day to day, and you're not necessarily living paycheck to paycheck to where you're waiting on your next paycheck to come before you can go out and buy groceries, or before you can go out and go shopping or do the things that you need to do. In this stage of life, it's good to be content, because if you're not content, you'll end up spending money because of lifestyle inflation, meaning that you'll see what everybody else is doing. You'll see that you'll have some additional money and you'll start making decisions. Oh, I need a nicer car, I need nicer clothes, I need a bigger home, and you'll start buying things and spending money and making decisions that'll keep you in a cycle of living paycheck to paycheck and not getting ahead. Some people call this the middle class trap. When you get the car and you get the clothes and you get the home, and you put yourself in a situation where all that you make is also going out. But what we need to learn is that godliness with contentment is great gain. And so when you get to a point where you're able to save money and you're not living necessarily paycheck to paycheck, where you're waiting on your next paycheck to come in, then you're in a level of life which is contentment. The next stage of financial freedom is investing. That means that you're going beyond just saving money, and now you're making sure that you're investing for your retirement, that you're investing for your future, for your family, that you are making wise financial decisions. When I think about this biblical concept, I think about planting seeds, and you plant seeds with the expectation that they will grow in the future. Or I think about the parable of the talents, how one person was given a few talents, and they buried it in the ground and didn't make it grow, and another person was given 5 talents and they turned 5 into 10, and another person was given 10 talents and they turned 10 into 20. And the people who were celebrated were the ones who added to what they had, and the person who was not celebrated was the person who just buried what they had in the ground. And so that's this principle of investing, of using wisdom with our resources, wisdom with our finances, the ability to learn about concepts like mutual funds and index funds, and understand what we have in retirement and how much we are putting towards retirement and how much we expect our money to grow for when we retire, and what's the investments that we're making in our business, what's the investments that we're making in ourselves. And this season of life is really planting seeds for the future, where financially you're in a really good space and a good situation, but you're still looking for that business to break through. You've gone to college and you've gotten your degree, but you're still waiting for that career breakthrough, or you went through trade school, or you didn't go to any school, but you're working hard on your job and you're trying to climb up the ladder, or you started your business and you just got it off the ground and you're looking for your breakthrough. I would say that this is your season of wisdom. This is your season of where you're planting. You know, the sacrifices that you've made yesterday, the sacrifices that you're making today are going to pay off for you tomorrow. The fifth stage of financial freedom is the harvest. When I think about the harvest, I think about the principle of you reap what you sow, meaning what you put into the ground is what's going to bloom, what's going to blossom, what's going to grow when it is harvest time. I think about how it talks about if you sow a little bit, then you reap a little bit. And if you sow abundantly, then you reap abundantly. And so I think of the harvest as the season of reaping what you sow. Whenever you think about harvest time, you think about a good time, you think about an abundant time, you think about a good season, a time where food is plentiful and people are eating. And so when you're in that financial stage in life, what it means is the seeds that were planted, the education that you have, the career choice that you made, the sacrifices that you made, the business that you started, the money that you invested, it means that now you're actually able to see the fruit of your investments and that you're able to enjoy those fruits. And this is a great season of life financially when you start seeing the hard work that you put in, that it pays off. And the good thing about a seed is a seed grows exponentially. So during the harvest time, you're able to experience exponential financial growth. The next stage of financial freedom is overflow. When I think about overflow, I think about streams of income. This is when your money is making money for you. See, when you're in the other level with harvest, you're still sowing and you're reaping what you sow. But when you get into a season of overflow, that means that the income, that the resources, that it is just flowing. And even if you don't lift a finger, if you don't work, you've already made investments, you've already started the businesses, you've already put things in place where money is coming in continually. So this is a season of overflow where you have a lot of different income streams, some of them passive income streams, which means whatever happens to you, you can still benefit financially. Now, when you get to this part of your life, when you're in a season of overflow, it means that money is just growing, or resources or finances or net worth, it's growing even beyond exponentially. It's just a steady stream that is pouring in. The seventh stage of financial freedom is abundance. When I think about abundance, I think about you having more than what you need, more than you can even spend. Now, not more that you could spend, like you can't go and buy 10 private jets and 10 yachts and 10 mansions. Yes, you could spend the money, but I'm saying you're content with what you have. You have all that you need, you have all that you want, and you have so much excess that you have enough to pass down to future generations, and you have enough to where you can even generously give other spaces because you have more than what you could even spend in your lifetime. And I'll call this a season of abundance, or the stage of abundance. And when you get to this stage, now you're looking at how you are going to send your resources away. I think about how many billionaires join like the Giving Pledge, or people are just trying to figure out, when I'm no longer here, what am I going to do with my resources? Or now that I am here, I have so much additional resources or investments that I want to turn around and give huge donations to others. So I like this stage of abundance because it's a time when you are just overwhelmed. You are just overwhelmed with resources. Now, everyone may not want to get down to the point of overflow, right? And that is totally okay. But the question is, what season are you in? Are you in a season of stewardship, where you're just realizing that you need financial knowledge, financial education, financial resources, and you really want to get started in the right direction, and maybe you felt suffocated, like you made a lot of bad decisions financially, but now you want to turn it around and do better? Are you in a season of provision, where you're making it, you're keeping the lights on, you're paying the bills, you have food in your stomach, but that's just about all that you have? You don't have any extra to spend on a lot of vacations and a lot of things for yourself, but you are just barely getting by. Or you could be in a season of contentment, where you have a little bit of savings and you're able to do some good things, and you're not necessarily paycheck to paycheck, where you're just waiting for your next paycheck to come in for you to go buy some groceries. And some people say, this is the level that I want to get to, and that is totally fine. Or some people want to get to the stage of wisdom, where they are making wise investments, they're enjoying friends, they're enjoying family. They say, I don't need a ton of money, I just want to make sure my needs are met and I have a little bit of extra. Some people are in a season of harvest, where they have done the hard work, they've worked there 30, 40 years, they've made wise investments, and now they are just reaping what they have sown. And maybe that's the point that you want to get to. I just want to make some good investments, make sound decisions. I don't need to be a multi-millionaire. I don't need to have $50 million. I just want to make good, wise, smart investments, have enough for me, my family, all of our needs, maybe a little bit to pass to my children, and be able to be generous to church. And that is perfectly fine. Now, there are some people who are working for overflow, and they say, I want passive income streams. I want different businesses. I don't want to have to work really hard or work every day of my life. I want my money to make money, or I want to create this business to make a constant stream of income for me. And so that is a season of overflow. And if that's where you want to get to, then that is totally fine. And abundance is good as well, as long as it's not going to get money just to be rich, but understanding that we are stewards of these resources and that we can use them to benefit others for the good. So no matter where you fall on the spectrum, know where you were, where you are right now, and where you want to be in the future. And if you want to get there, then I'll do the best that I can to help you to be able to get there, so that I'm going to get there too. I'm going to climb up to go different stages and different levels, because I want to be more generous. I want to give more to people. I want to give more to churches, and I just want to be a blessing for others. So if you enjoy this video, then watch my live video, which goes into more details about these 7 stages of financial freedom from a biblical perspective.